This week's episode is sponsored by Eastwood. They sent us all the X-mat that we needed to cover our floor pan of the car. What I'm really excited about this stuff is that it's supposed to make Carl quieter and cooler, which are two things that he really needs right now. But before we could put it in, the first step was to get the floor pan and firewall prepped. Look at how clean. Okay, so we found another rest hole. I knew about this one already. I was just hoping Dad wouldn't notice and we would just like skip over it. But we need to patch it up. We're gonna come back and weld it a little bit. But we know it's there. We're gonna clean everything else off and then come back, weld it, and then keep going. So we're going to take care of the rest hole now from everything we learned from the toe board. Let's hope it doesn't take very long, but we're just going to grind it down, cut a piece of metal to size, and then spot weld it, and we should be good. So now you just have to weld. Haha.
That's right. It's my turn to weld today.
I don't weld! So it was time to weld up that pesky little rust hole that I was really trying to hide from Dad so that we could just gloss over that fact. But I really didn't want to weld because it was hot on that day. So Dad took his turn on welding. And he did okay. You did okay.
I had some problems. Blowing through though, like crazy. Yeah, all I'm doing is blowing through here. Nothing but blowing through. All I'm doing is just making more holes. I was having some issues.
Just a few.
But thankfully, I called in someone who could actually weld.
Yeah, I'm the welder in the family, apparently.
Yeah. That looks so much better, Ellie. Thank you so much for saving that weld.
it's clean and we're ready to paint. We're not going to paint the whole thing because it's actually looking pretty good, and there are only a few spots that had rust or that have exposed metal. So we're going to use the normal rust encapsulator on the spots that just have exposed metal. And right here we're going to use the rust encapsulator plus because there was some rust on this toe board. Thankfully not enough for us to have to, completely redo it. But yeah, we just want to make sure that we don't get another rusty toe board. The product went on really well and it was great. Just don't use foam brushes. Okay, so we finally got to that moment. It's time to install the X-Mat. This stuff is really interesting too because it's super thin, but it's like heavy, so it's like super duper dense. And like I can already like see how it's going to like deaden sound, which Carl has problems with that, and hopefully make it a little bit cooler because it's all like it can help with heat and cool, and I'm just excited. Okay, so we just figured out how we're going to do the X-Mat. We have our X-Mat, which is something me and Dad have been doing that since day one when we got the X-Mat. Are you ready?
Here it comes, and X-Mat.
We do it every time we say it. So we're just gonna start by doing both sides, and then we'll go to the trans tunnel.
Yeah, trans tunnel. Yeah.
And mess with that afterwards.
I'm just keeping it pushed up again. Oh, that's cool. These together like this. And we can kind of grasp it.
It was good.
That looks good. All right, let's move on.
It's so hard.
Is the X-Mat more comfy than just the metal?
Yes.
Nice.
I am so happy that I have X-Mat in my car. It's not only going to be super useful, but it was really easy to put in. Me and Dad were really worried about it, but it was very forgiving. We could cut it and move it if we made a mistake and just roll it out. It was really, really nice. And after doing the brakes and the toe board, I really needed an easy project that we could just get done. While it was great to have the X-Mat in, my favorite part of this project was when Dad needed my help. It was really the first time he's ever asked me to step in, and I've always asked him to help me with something. And it was really cool that now that I'm a little bit older, he can ask me for help, and I can be the support that he needs because he's been the support that I've needed all this time. So what I'm taking out of the garage this week is that as I'm growing up, it's nice to know that I have stuff to offer to the people who have helped me all my life. Thank you again to Eastwood for sponsoring this episode, and as always, thank you to my executive producer, Drew Carter. And if you want to support me, go to my Patreon page at patreon.com/ElliesGarage. Thanks, and I'll see you next time in the garage.
Done with X-Men.